The Ayatollah is gone. Khomeini, the man who ruled Iran for 37 years, was eliminated in an airstrike on Saturday. So what happens next? I don't know. But this sounds an awful lot like a 2,600-year prophecy by Jeremiah. Jeremiah is writing while his friends and family are being deported to Babylon. Judah is falling, and their neighbors, Edom, Ammon, and Moab, are celebrating their demise. So Jeremiah prophesies against them. He turns to one specifically, Elam, a place east of Babylon, known for the best archers in the world. Seriously, those guys were good. And he tells them this, verse 35, I will break the bow of Elam, the mainstay of their might. He just said he's going to break their bows over his knee. Well, that's a paraphrase, but he told them he was going to destroy the very thing they put their trust in. Then, in verse 36, I will bring upon Elam the four winds from the four corners of heaven. Let's pull Elam up on a modern map. You see that? The same place Jeremiah was writing about. Elam today is the southwestern area of Iran, and it's one of the most heavily militarized zones on earth. As we speak, Iran is trading fire with Dubai, Riyadh, Israel, and U.S. military bases. Four winds from four quarters. And then verse 38. I will set my throne in Elam and will destroy their king and officials. King and officials. As of this recording, the Ayatollah is gone, and at least 40 of his top officials. His defense minister, gone. The commander of the Revolutionary Guard, gone. The head of the Defense Council, gone. His top intelligence officials, his daughter and son-in-law, all gone. 200 fighter jets hitting 500 targets across 24 separate provinces. They didn't just lose their leader, they lost the whole chain of command, kings and officials. And in broad daylight, during Ramadan, the holiest month in Islam. But God doesn't stop at judgment. Look at verse 39. But in the latter days, I will restore the fortunes of Elam. Judgment, then restoration. He's going to set his throne in the very place that was broken. But it gets better. Let's go to Acts 2. It's the day of Pentecost. The Holy Spirit falls. The disciples speak in languages they've never learned. Luke tells us every nation was represented. 15 people groups from across the known world. Here are the first three names on that list. Parthians, Medes, Elamites. All three Iranian peoples. The first three nations to hear the gospel in a language that they understood. Jeremiah said God would set his throne in Elam. Acts shows us Elamites heard the gospel the day the church was born. And right now, today, there are more Iranians following Jesus than at any point in history. So what happened? How did Iran become an oppressive theocracy? We need to go to 1979, the Islamic Revolution. There's a guy in charge they call the Shah. He's a dictator, but he's friendly with the West. He's not exactly a saint, but he's also not the Ayatollah. The people want democracy. The people want freedom. They want an end to the Shah's rule, and they get it. But they also get Ayatollah Khomeini. I know these names are confusing. This is the predecessor to the guy who was just taken out. He seized power and installed the Islamic Republic. Now the state controlled what you believe, how you pray, and what you teach your children. Do you know how many Iranian Christians there were in 1979? Fewer than 500 in a country of 40 million. And the regime set out to make it stay that way. Let me tell you a quick story. Not long after the Ayatollah seized power, early 1980s, a 16-year-old named Hormoz Shariat was arrested in Iran on minor charges. He was held for 2 years. When he turned 18, he was executed by firing squad. No due process, no trial, no warning. After it was over, they called his mom, said, come pick up the body. When she and her husband arrived there, they made them pay for the bullets before they'd release him. Hormoz had a brother, Hormoz. He had moved to the United States, enrolled in college at USC, and became a Christian. When he got the news about his brother, he was filled with rage. He wanted revenge. And seriously, who could blame him? But God spoke to him. He said, stop fighting flesh and blood. Get your revenge with the gospel. So Hormoz asked God for 1 million Muslim souls. He now runs a ministry called Iran Alive. They run 24-hour Christian broadcasting into Iran by satellite. And you know how this regime loved to turn off the internet? Well, they have Starlink smuggled in across the Turkish and Iraqi borders. So the gospel keeps going, bypassing the national grid entirely. Underground churches use them for discipleship materials, for Bible apps in the Persian language. That's the throne of God in Elam in 2026. The regime arrested 254 Christians in Iran last year. It didn't work. They labeled them Mossad mercenaries. It didn't work. They prosecuted 90% of all cases through a single statute. It didn't work. The Ayatollah is gone. And the same God who spoke to Jeremiah 2,600 years ago is reaching into living rooms today through satellite signals, through Starlink terminals smuggled across the border, through dreams, because a staggering number of Iranian believers say they met Jesus in a dream, through bread broken on carpet by people who know the knock at the door could come at any moment. And I need to say this. This is a real war. Lives have been lost. Some families are getting the worst phone call of their life. Iranian families are pulling people out of rubble. Yeah, we talk about prophecy, we talk about church growth, we talk about what God is doing. But let's not also lose sight of the fact that people are hurting. And people on all sides need our prayers. The same Jesus who was worshipped by Persian Magi before any European king ever heard his name. The same Jesus who called Elamites at Pentecost. The same Jesus who Jeremiah said would set his throne in Elam. He's not done with Iran. He never was. And as usual, if something in this video struck a chord, let's talk about it in the comments. And if you're interested in hearing more, then just subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. God bless you.